Hey everybody, welcome to Dinner and Tip, or like I would like to refer to today's episode as the Walmart dumpster fire. We had a couple epic fails today. I'm doing a chicken pot pie on the Blackstone, 3 different ways. 2 failed it, 1 nailed it-ish, but I did figure out how to correct it, and it's actually turning out really good. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I salvage this recipe. I know a lot of people are new to the Blackstone and are afraid to try new things because they're going to fail, but Domino's always delivers. There's always options. So I did a chicken pot pie. I tried it with a pie filling, I tried it with puff pastry, and I tried it with biscuits. Biscuits in the pie filling, not my best work, but I made the chicken pot pie filling, which actually turned out really good, so I did not want to waste it. So I went ahead and I rolled out the puff pastry so it was a little wider, and I cut it into bigger squares. So I'm going to just go ahead and take some of our pie filling. I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of cheese, and then I'm going to fold over. The filling also is cooler, and it's a little bit easier to work with when it's cooler. So go ahead and get this folded over. You're going to take a fork, and then you're going to go around the sides. You're going to go ahead and press this together so it sticks together. And then I did an egg wash, but when I did it the second time, I'm actually just doing butter on the top and bottom, and I figured that actually gave me a much better cook. So we went ahead and did that. Here's a couple that I've actually already completed. So these are, since they're smaller, I would actually call this a chicken pot pie pocket, which is great because you can go ahead and fill these, cook them up, and then just throw them in the air fryer later. So again, I'm just going to go ahead. I used the puff pastry, which I figured I had the most success with. And then just go ahead and pop these guys around. So I don't know about you, but the cooking shows that show everybody doing everything perfect. Me, I prefer a dumpster fire. I want to know that when people are cooking, I can cook that way, whether it's good or bad. But just in life, you just don't want to give up. Just got to keep trying. You'll figure it out eventually. So let's get one last one. And so this is pretty thin, but you want to keep these pretty thinned out. And then I'm cooking these on like a medium to high heat, depending on how your grill is. So go ahead and get this last one folded over, and I'm going to go ahead and throw this on. If you're looking for some entertainment and making yourself feel better about your cooking skills, go ahead and watch the next 17 minutes of, I would refer to it as the crazy train to the Walmart dumpster fire, and I was definitely the conductor on that one. So, but I can laugh at my fails. You can laugh at them too. I don't really care. So head and throw that one on. And once these were pretty much cooked, I didn't want to overcook the crust. So I went ahead and I put them on a cooling rack. Let me just give these guys a quick turn. So you can see they're getting a really nice brown on it. They're not crazy puffy, but they're good. I love the filling. I love the pastry on this one. Gives it a definitely more fluffier texture than if you would have done a pie filling or the pie crust. So go ahead and subscribe. Watch my fail. Go ahead and leave me a comment on something that you might have failed at before while cooking. So talk to you soon. See you next time. Eat happy. Hey everybody, welcome to Dinner and a Tip. My name is Brenda, and I'm going to be your cooking guide. So today's episode is going to be my nailed it or failed it episode because 1, I've never made this recipe. 2, I'm going to try it 3 different ways. I don't have a cameraman, and it's pretty windy out. So, but if I don't try, it's an automatic fail. So cross our fingers and this one will actually get uploaded. So we're going to do a chicken pot pie today. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the roux first. So we're doing 1/3 cup of water, and then I'm going to do about a tablespoon of, this is Better Than Bouillon. It's an Italian one. You could do chicken broth if you want, but I want to just add a little extra flavor if I can. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this to a cast iron skillet. And get that all mixed up. Next, I'm going to do a half a cup of milk and 1/3 cup of flour. This is what actually helps thicken everything up. And I'm just going to go ahead and place that in here right now while we're getting everything else cooked. So next, I'm going to go ahead and start with our chicken. This is chicken thighs I cut up into bite-sized pieces, and I just did some Italian dressing on them. So I'm going to go ahead, get that started. All right. So next up, we're going to just go ahead. This is starting to boil, and this is going to thicken up. You want to make sure that this gets stirred really good so you get those flour chunks out of here. And I'm just going to season this. I'm going to do some salt and pepper. I don't want to do a lot of the seasonings this time for the simple fact that with all the Italian dressing and Italian seasonings, you don't need a ton of extra seasonings this time. And then I actually like a little heat, so I'm just going to do a couple sprays of, or squeezes of this. Don't go too crazy on this unless you like it really spicy, but clean this off. And we're going to give that one more quick stir to make sure that's coming together. All right, chicken's coming along. When you cut this into small bite-sized pieces, this cooks pretty quick, so you want to kind of keep an eye on it. So a traditional meal of the chicken pot pie is typically peas and carrots and onions. It's traumatized by eating weird hot tuna-ish things that my mom insisted on putting peas and carrots. Since I'm a grown-up and I can eat whatever I want because I'm the only one home, I'm going to do mushrooms, onions, green beans. I'm going to throw a little bit of butter down on that. And then I'm also going to do some corn on this. I just want to get these vegetables sauteing real quick. And I'm going to keep checking our chicken here. So for our crust today, what we're going to do is we're going to try it 3 different ways to see which turns out the best. I'm going to do a pie crust, which is just a pre-made pie crust, which is typically what you would use. I'm going to do puff pastry, and then I had some leftover Grand's biscuits. So we're going to do 3 different ways. This is going to be more individual size servings. And let me go ahead and show you. So because of that flour, you can see that this is starting to thicken up, and that's what we want. Because when you do a traditional pie in the oven, this will actually cook up over time. So I want to have this all ready so when we go ahead and stuff the pastries that it's already going to be ready to go. So, and that's the other reason we're cooking our chicken, cooking our vegetables, because when we go to stuff these guys, all we're going to have is to cook the pastry. We don't actually need to cook the filling anymore. So, and I'm just going to go ahead and this chicken's just about done. And I did leave some of that Italian dressing on this chicken. That way I've got a little extra flavor. This is just canned fire roasted corn. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in. If you're feeling adventurous, you could do cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, peas, basically whatever you want on this recipe. But for me, this is my favorite vegetables. So these are the ones I'm cooking with today. And those green beans were fresh and the mushrooms were fresh on these. But you could also use canned. You could just get a bag of like the mixed frozen vegetables. I think is what most people do. So just want to check the chicken. Yep. Just want to sample a couple different pieces. Try to find the biggest ones to make sure you don't see any pink in that chicken. So, and we're good on that. Vegetables are just about done. Our sauce is thickening up. Yep, and that's getting to about the consistency I want. I'm actually cooking this sauce on low. I don't want it to overcook. So next, we're going to go ahead and throw in our chicken and our vegetables. And I don't know about you, but I just got one of the Blackstone pizza ovens. And actually, I want to go ahead and try this recipe in a cast iron skillet in the pizza oven. And I do plan on trying to do other things than just pizza. I know steak, lobster, all of that stuff is good. There's a couple desserts. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe and make sure you find out what else we've got cooking. So now that we've got this filling and it is thickening up, just see, if I was doing the pizza oven, I would just probably put pie crust over this, throw this in there, and call it good. But I have not put the pizza oven together, and my husband has asked me not to use tools. So I'm going to respect his request and not use tools today. So, and then I'm just going to go ahead and throw in a little bit of minced garlic. You could do fresh if you want. I think everything tastes better with garlic, so I'm going to throw that in. All right. And before I commit to putting this in our puff pastries and pie stuff, I want to just go ahead and taste it. Make sure it's got enough seasoning for what I'm looking for. So honestly, I don't even think I need any puff pastry with this, but it's not really a pot pie episode if we don't put that in. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the burner off over on this side. Since this side is a little bit messier, I want to go ahead and have a clean surface for our pastries to cook on. And I'm going to start those pastries on low. And I do have a cooling rack here that once, if it's cooking too fast, I want to be able to have the option of lifting it off the direct heat. So this is what we're going to go ahead and start with, is the puff pastry. And again, these are going to be more individual sizes. And the best thing about this, when you do it this way, is you could go ahead and pre-make this stuff and then freeze it and then just throw it in the air fryer whenever you need a quick, fresh dinner. So actually, we'll go ahead. I'm actually going to do these more as pockets, I think. So go ahead and cut this. Not gonna lie, this isn't the prettiest looking to start with, but again, no practice, so, but that's okay. I think maybe what I need to do is just put a little less filling to get started. And this is maybe where the puff pastries might be a better option, so go ahead and fold that over. I'm going to just start by getting it pinched, and then I'm going to take a fork, and then I'm going to press around it to kind of help seal everything. Okay, this one's definitely turning out prettier. I think maybe if I can stretch these guys a little bit. This is part of the nail it, fail it part of cooking. And then I'm going to just do a little bit of egg wash on the top of this one. Let's see if we can scoop this off the tray. All right, I'm just going to throw that down, get started. And I've got this down all the way to low. While I'm working on getting everything else on here, I want to make sure that I'm not going to overcook all of this stuff right away. Let's try one more of these guys. So right now I'm not totally loving the puff pastry, but maybe the taste is going to surprise me. I just think it's a little harder to work with. And maybe if I figure out some tricks on this one, I will let you know in the comments. So, okay, let's go ahead and get the forks down. And then, again, the forks are just kind of helping get it so it seals better. All right, let's pop this down. Well, that's why you wear an apron, so you don't have to worry about keeping your hands clean. So they're actually, the color is good on these guys. So let's go ahead and try. Maybe these will be easier. So these are the Grand's biscuits. And I'm just going to kind of pull them a little bit just to try to get them a little bit more open to receive all of our joyful filling. So, okay. So I'm just going to kind of pull these ones over. It's kind of actually looks like a calzone maybe. So I don't know if there's such a thing as a calzone for chicken pot pie, but doesn't mean we can't create one. Go ahead and give these guys another quick flip. I actually like the look of the puff pastries on these, so okay, the Grand's biscuit, fail. We're gonna skip that one. Let's try the pie crust though. The pie crust is thicker, and it's probably gonna be a little bit easier to work with, I'm guessing. So go ahead and get your fork marks down on this. Do a little egg wash. I think to transfer these, you definitely need the spatula. We're going to flip this guy. And these puff pastries are just about done, so I'm going to go ahead, give them some extra cook time on the rack. Put those over the heat. And then let's go ahead and try one more of the pie crust to see if that works out the best. The pie crust, I think, is definitely going to be our nailed it part. The simple fact that's what you traditionally do with it, and I think it's a lot thicker. So I think it's easier for it to stick down. So a little egg wash. Yep, definitely didn't nail that one either. This one's actually doing okay. So, you know, I think what I'm going to try, why don't we just throw one of these Grand biscuits right on the grill. Let's just see if we can cook it and just top it. So, just like in everyday life, not everything can be perfect. So, but if you don't keep trying, you're never going to figure it out. So, this is kind of a hot looking mess, but I don't know. Let's keep going. We might as well, right? We got nothing to lose at this point. So, this pie crust one's actually doing pretty good. So, we'll just keep cooking away. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit on these guys. Yep, this one definitely got away from us. Whoops. All right, crossing my fingers for puff pastry. The one I thought I'd have the least success with is actually looking our best. This, nope, not that one either. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and try this guy anyways. So, Actually, surprisingly, this is actually really good. So go ahead and try it with the puff pastry. I think maybe next time what I'd do is roll it out smoothly and then cut spots in it for it. But the filling is really good, and so I would go ahead and I'm going to keep exploring on this one. But chicken pot pie, puff pastries, I'm going to say that's the nailed it. I'm going to say the pie crust. I think with a little practice, I think I could get that one. Let's go ahead and try that one anyways. The pie crust definitely tastes good. I'm going to go puff pastry for the win. Subscribe. Sorry, apparently I'm going through puberty. Go ahead and subscribe and see what we're coming up with next time. See you soon. Bye.